My name is Rakhi Chari, as Nadia said, and I just wanted to say how honored I am to be here. I remember before starting on my Breatharian path, I used to go to the Breatharian World website to check out all the amazing speakers, and I used to be so inspired by them. So I'm truly honored here to be able to speak to you today, and I hope that whatever I say today will inspire you in some way. So thank you so much. Thank you. So I will basically today I'll be, since you guys don't know me, I'll be talking mainly about myself and my breatharian journey. So I will start from the early years before my. So I will start from my early years before my pranic initiation. I was always in San Francisco, and I used to eat meat. So from eating meat, I became a vegetarian. Then I became a vegan, and then I became a vegan, and now I'm on my vegetarian journey. I was always interested in health and wellness. So about 10 years ago, I started heavily detoxing my body. I used to do liver cleanse. I used to do kidney cleanse. I used to do heavy metal cleanse, and all kinds of cleanses that you can think of. And because I was cleansing my body so much, it made it easier, I think, to go on this breatharian journey. And I was always very health conscious. So even when I was having, when I was eating, I used to always feel that there were toxins in the food and, the GMO pesticides. So I always used to worry about the stuff that I was eating. I was always very conscious of it. And then when I heard about the breatharian journey, the breatharianism, I was completely inspired by that. And I thought how nice it would be to not worry about food. And so that is what brought me into the breatharian path. So so it was not a spiritual angle that brought me into the breatharian path. It was purely the desire to let go of food and not to worry about food that brought me into the breatharian path. So yeah, and once I was in the breatharian path, so even yoga, pranayama, and those were integral parts of my life. And I did, once I found out about the breatharian path, I did the 9-day pranic initiation in August of 2018. And since then, my life has not been the same. It has dramatically changed for the better. So I've been documenting my breatharian journey on my YouTube channel called Breatharian Yogini. And my first year, since August 2018, I haven't had any solid food. And now I'm going to go into my first year and how my first year of not having any solid food was like. It was difficult for me because my body was changing and I was trying to get used to things. And one of the things that happened was I drastically lost weight. So I probably shedded about 40 pounds or so. So I had to let go of the weight. And in letting go of the weight, when people saw me 40 pounds lighter, it was very difficult because they thought that I had some kind of a disease, that I was losing weight, or they thought that maybe I had, some kind of a disease. So I used to get a lot of comments and remarks about what I'm doing to my body. And if I'm not going to eat, then I'm going to basically kill myself. And my organs are going to, my body's going to eat my organs. So yeah, that is what happened as I lost weight. I oftentimes would question myself as why I am on this journey, as others were questioning me as well. And as I lost weight, I had to shed a lot of things as well. So during my first year, I shedded the weight, I shed the clothing because none of the clothing would fit me again. So I had to let go of the clothing. I also was shedding hair, so my hair was falling off. So that was also a shedding that was going through. And I felt like I was going bald. So that also added to the impact in my first year. And I also had to shed relationships, let go of relationships that were not working or conducive to my lifestyle. The first year, I had a lot of food cravings. And I used to think about food all the time. I used to pass by restaurants and think, oh, what kind of food does that restaurant have? And I used to smell food, and I used to miss food, and I used to look at food on my phone, pictures of food on my phone. So there was a lot of food cravings that I used to have. And one of the ways that I let go of the food cravings or try to manage my food cravings is that I would have my favorite liquid to drink. And then if I ever felt like having one of my food cravings was pizza. So if I ever felt like having pizza, I would then just go and have my drink that I liked. And so that was one way of appeasing the child in me to say, okay, you can't have the pizza, but at least you can have this liquid that you really like. So that was one way how I got through my first year. And another way I got through my first year was if I had really had a craving, I would put it in my mouth, I would chew it, and I would spit it out because my mouth really wanted the taste. My body did not want all that food in it. And if I did that, I can continue on my pranic journey, I felt. So it was a win-win for all three. My mouth was happy, my stomach was happy, and I was happy because my body did not get, it got what it wanted. It didn't want all the food inside of it. And I got what I want because I can continue on my pranic journey. So that's my first year. And also one thing that also improved was my sleep. I was sleeping much better. And so that's how my first year was without any solid food. And then getting into my second year got a bit better. My weight stabilized. And I remember I had to keep telling myself that I was nourished by prana because I myself would have a lot of doubts whether I was nourished by prana or not. So I had to keep telling myself. So once my mind was okay with that I am nourished by prana, then my body would, would start. I mean, I think my body was already nourished by prana, but it was a mental block I had. So I had to keep telling myself. Yeah. And then I noticed the second year, my liquids became lighter and lighter. Like the first year, I would have lentils and stuff. The second year, it was lighter liquids that I was having. Also, my second year, I gave up having coffee, tea, alcohol, garlic, and onion. So those are things I gave up my second year. And the reason why I gave it up is it affected my mind in an adverse way. I felt like it wasn't conducive to the pranic lifestyle because I felt a little agitated when I had that. And it didn't have a very calming effect on me. So that's what I did. And also, my hair started growing back my second year. So I no longer had hair fall the way I did my first year. My hair started growing back, and I would feel in the back of my hair, I was like, oh, because all this would be really thin. And then I go, oh, there's some growth back here. So my hair started growing back. And also my second year, what happened was relationships started improving. So whatever relationships I had with others started improving. And I also had new relationships that were more conducive to my lifestyle.
Y
And I,
también llegaron nuevas relaciones a mi vida.
I hear someone speaking. So
Yes, sorry, there must be some interference with the other translators.
yeah, I think they're not
It
on
seems-
mute.
Yeah. Okay, now you are back.
Okay. Okay, so I think the reason why my relationship started improving and I started cultivating new relationships is because I learned my second year. I was always coming out of place of love, and I think when you come out of place of love, then you automatically find that relationships improve, and that I also found that I started developing relationships that were similar to the way I was coming from. So like attracts like. So I think in the earlier, what I did was I let go of the relationships that were not serving me, and now I was kind of coming across people that actually were resonating with me, and that's what started happening my second year. So that was my first 2 years, and now coming in to my third year. So I'm not yet into my third year. It's another 1 month away for me to be into my third year, but I'm in the 2.5 year mark now. So I'll tell you what happened in the 2.5 year mark. So this journey, this breatharian journey, started off as a journey to let go of food. It wasn't a spiritual journey, but what I have noticed that as I started let going of food, this journey has now become a spiritual journey, because it's just become that way. As I became lighter and lighter, I think more spirituality has come into me, and there are certain things that have started happening. First of all, I think the chakras started opening up, and I started feeling more divine energy coming into me, especially when I was meditating. So that was a real difference. I would really feel that energy coming within me. And also, I started having more compassion for others. And I started feeling that in the big picture, we are all just like childlike, trying to make our way in this world. So coming from a place of compassion always. So that also started happening in the 2.5 year kind of mark. And then also for me to learn that each soul that comes into this body has its own journey to live, to lead. So to not have the judgments that I used to have, I let go of all the judgments, because each soul comes into this universe, into this physical body, and they have their own purpose and their own journey. And for me to accept that, and so that was also an awakening for me, because I didn't come from a spiritual world, so that was kind of an awakening for me. And I also had my third eye open during this time. And after my third eye opened, I was better able to sense things. So I can kind of almost see what people are thinking and feeling, and kind of assess situations better, because my third eye was open. And another thing that happened to me after my third eye opened was that I started having energy coming into my body. And it was very interesting, because I, again, didn't come from a spiritual world, so I didn't know that there were these energy that could come into your body. So now that I have experienced that, so this energy, just to describe what happened, it's happened 3 times to me so far. The first time what happened was this energy came into my body, the night after my third eye opened, and it came in to my solar plex, and it did something. And I don't know what it did. I think it was trying to detox me or trying to make some adjustments. And what I noticed is that it did something, and I was releasing toxins. And the only way for me to release the toxins was just to kind of open my mouth. And it was kind of almost like I was letting go of this negative energy that was sitting inside my solar plexus. So after that happened, then the energy went into my belly button, and it kind of like a clock on a dial on the clock, it kind of turned something around and made some adjustments, I assume, and then it left my body. And then I think after that, it was a very interesting experience for me because that had never happened to me before. And so another time that happened as well, when I was lying down sleeping, and this energy came into my body. And when I woke up, I could not move my body because this energy was there. And I was trying to move, but was not able to move. And then finally, when the energy left, then I was able to move my body. And the third time, what happened was I was lying down sleeping, and it usually happens around 2 to 4 in the morning. This energy came into my head, and it was like red beams that came inside my head into my brain. And it was a little bit painful, and it felt like it was happening for a while, and then it went away. And then the energy came back into my throat, and it did something in my throat, and then it went away. And then actually it didn't go away. Then it came down to my heart, and it expanded my heart and contracted my heart. It did something to my heart. And then I was really scared at that moment because I thought, I'm going to stop breathing. And I didn't really know what kind of energy this was. But I felt like I stopped breathing. And then after that, the energy went away. There was a bit of a tussle between me and the energy because I thought when it was contracting my heart, I felt like I was going to die or something because I could not breathe. But it would come back and it would finish its job, and then finally it left. And so that energy left my body. And I spoke to some friends, and they said that maybe that energy was there to just kind of maybe do some adjustments to help me along on my pranic journey. So I'm very grateful that that happened. And I am happy that that happened. And they also say that you have guides and guardians. And I kind of never believed that you have guides and guardians. I was like, do we really have guides and guardians? Are they real guides and guardians? And one time I was talking to my friend, and we were on a Zoom call. And I saw lights coming everywhere. There was no lights in the room, but my guides and guardians were there, letting me know that they were there. And there would be like shining sparks going everywhere. And my friend, who's very spiritual, she said that my guides and guardians are there looking after me. And I felt so blessed that, yes. And so I think now I cannot doubt whether I have guides and guardians because they made themselves visible to me. And one other thing that's been happening to me, so this is all part of the spiritual awakening that's been happening after my 2.5-year mark. One is the chakras opening up and the divine energy coming within me having more compassion for others, learning that each soul is here for its own purpose, my third eye opening, and this energy coming within me, and the guides and guardians making themselves visible to me. And the final thing that I feel that has happened is that I have begun manifesting things. I was always kind of manifesting things, but I have noticed lately that I have started instantly manifesting things. Like I would think something and it happens. So that has been a very unusual thing for me, to be able to just manifest things. And a lot of this stuff I have documented on my YouTube channel. I've gone into really deep details about all the stuff that's been going on to me. But just to briefly put it, a lot of manifestations have come my way. Like I will think something and it just seems to happen. And so I do feel like I'm in alignment with my soul's journey. And that is why these manifestations are happening, sometimes instantly. And I'm so blessed that I could be on this journey, and also so blessed that I can share it with you all. So yeah, and now in the future, I feel, so that's what's happened with me up until now. And I feel that in the future, I feel that my spiritual journey will just grow and grow. And I feel like I almost feel like it's like a magic show. It's like I'm seeing the magic around me, and I'm part of the magic. And it's just a magical experience for me to be part of this journey. And so I do have hopes that as I lighten up on my diet, I have lighter and lighter fluids, that I do hope that I'll be able to maybe one day be able to sustain myself on water as I slowly become lighter and lighter on my liquids. And I feel that the pranic journey, pranic lifestyle is just an evolution. I feel like we are all, it's just an evolution from very dense food to living on prana. And I'm thankful here to have this opportunity that's been given to me to speak to you today. And I hope that in some way my life's journey has helped you. And so thank you so much for listening to me. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Rakhi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your very honest sharing. So sweet. Such a journey.
Thank you so much. I know I had to go. So I'm sorry I went so quickly. I know that we have interpreters that are interpreting. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and I also want to take advantage to say thank you to all the people that are working here on the backstage, the technician and the translators, and all of the people that are making this festival possible, just being service.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you to everybody to make this possible. Yes. Thank you. I'm truly honored. Thank you so much, Nadia.
And I want now to invite the people online and our audience here at the festival to share question, ask a question.
Yes.
Either the Q&A section here in the Zoom panel, or just come straight to me. And again, I just want to remind that because we are simultaneously translated in 3 other languages, sometimes we just slow down or take pauses, not because we are falling asleep, but to give time to the translator to do their work. Okay, I have here someone with a question. Just a second.
Yes.
I will listen to Massimiliano's question and then translate it for you. Just a second.
Yes.
Quanto questo cambiamento ha influito sull'ambiente esterno e sulle persone che conosci?
How this change influencing your external environment and the people you are in touch to?
So I didn't understand the question. How has this change affected my external environment?
Yeah, and the people around you.
Yeah, I think Yeah, I think how it affected my external environment is that I don't put myself in certain situations, that I just do things to my highest joy. So I'm surrounding myself with people that are conducive to this lifestyle. So I think that's what it is. And I am very light. So one of the things that has manifested is that my external environment is I don't carry too many things. So I have become a very minimalist person. So I have become a very minimalist person. I don't have too many possessions. I let go of most things that I own. And I have a very basic lifestyle now. I don't have interest in acquiring any physical goods, physical things. So that's how it's affected my lifestyle. I don't know if that answers the question.
And about the people around you, are they understanding your journey? Are they interested in it?
I think now I'm attracting people that are open to my journey. So it's not as difficult as it was in the beginning, because in the beginning, the people that I attracted were not that way. So I think people I'm attracting people that are okay with this lifestyle. I'm also, the people that I have known have now begun to understand that this is my lifestyle, and they don't question me too much. And so it's just, I think they see that I'm happy and I'm healthy, and they don't question me too much now. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
have another question from Surata, and is about the moon. So the energy of new moon and full moon are pretty strong recently. And the question is if through the pranic lifestyle, the influence of the moon energy um, is more easy to handle or not influencing so much on your system.
So I have come in this journey from a very physical 5 sense reality. So I was never very spiritual or sensitive. I feel that I still am not as sensitive. So I don't really feel the moon or the different changes that are happening. So I don't really feel that. Maybe as I continue on my path, I will become more and more sensitive to it. But at the current moment, I am not as sensitive to feel the differences.
Thank you. And I open the space for one last question. If someone has one. So there is this question, which is, I am hungry. I feel hunger. What can I do to go in this pranic journey?
Oh my God. That is my world. Yes. I also feel hunger, and I also battle with hunger. And I know others who are on the pranic journey and they do not feel hungry. But I have been on this pranic journey for almost 3 years, and I still feel hungry. So I asked people, why is it that I still feel hungry? And they told me that it could be ancestral, it could be your ancestral hunger. And so I wasn't very happy about that. I'm like, I have to deal with my own hunger, and now I have to deal with ancestral hunger as well. so So that was a difficult thing. How I currently deal with my hunger is if I'm hungry, I'll have liquids and I'll satisfy that with the liquids. I meditate and I feel where the hunger is. I allow myself to feel hungry and just recognize that it is a feeling and it will pass, and not to be so attached to the feeling of hunger. And so that's some of the things that you can do. Also, I do pranayama, some breathing exercises, and meditation, and just to realize that it is a feeling and it will pass. But yes, hunger is also very real for me, and along with hunger will probably come cravings as well. And as I mentioned in earlier, that cravings and hunger are very real and they happen. And hopefully, as I continue on my journey, I will be less and less hungry, and I'll have less and less cravings. As it is, I used to crave pizza all the time, but now as I continue on my journey, I no longer crave pizza. So that's kind of was my first year I used to crave pizza. So I think if you just stick with it, I told myself after my pranic initiation, I said for 1 year, I'm not going to have any solid food. And whatever happens, I'm not going to have solid food. So even if I get hungry, I'm just going to fill that hunger with some liquid. And that's what I would do. So I think I would just say, meditate on it, breathe into the hunger, and understand that it is just a sensation.
Thank you so much
Thank you,
for the
Nadia.
clear answer and your honesty, really. I so appreciate it.
Thank you
Okay,
so
we have
much.
just one last question that just came.
Yes.
So you mentioned that your physical body get into a renovation. You lost your hair and then you get them back and
Yes.
so on. So the question is, you had also this kind of a renovation in your approach with sexuality. If you could let go of conditionment and then express your sexuality in a different way, maybe renew and more free.
Interesting question. Yes, I think when you get into this path, I think a lot of things start clearing up. Maybe not the first year because you're going through so many changes. But as for me, I can speak that as things start clearing up within your body, then your energy, even your sexual energy, is allowed to flow much freely. And you will probably find yourself a bit more sexual. You will find yourself a bit more open. And because there are no blockages in your body, so the energy is allowed to flow and you're allowed to express yourself, and you become into your being as you are, whether, in terms of speaking your truth, being your truth, whether it's in speaking it or in the sexual realm, I think you're able to express yourself more. So definitely spirituality, sexuality and more expressive. So that's what I have to say. I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Satisfying. Thank you so much for this beautiful time together.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you all for all that you're doing to make this possible. Thanks, Nadia.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate to meet you again. And I hope to see you soon.
Yes,
Hopefully
Nadia. Yes.
here.
Thank
Have a
you.
blessed journey from India to US.
Thank you
And
so
let's
much,
keep in
Nadia.
touch. Yes, people can still follow you on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, Breatharian Yogini.
And you can also, Breatharian Yogini.
Yes.
And you can check also on our Instagram page, Pranic World Festival, about the news and how to contact the different speakers. Yeah, thank you again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
I want to announce that the next conference this afternoon won't be Edgardo Bonazzi, but Kirby. So next conference at 4 p.m. will be with Kirby from Sri Lanka. We stay in Asia. Bye bye,
Bye.
Rani.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.